In 1940, two brothers opened a drive-in restaurant in San Bernardino, California. Richard and Maurice McDonald had no idea their modest hamburger stand would spawn a global empire. But within 2 decades, they would lose control of their creation, their name, and a fortune that could have changed their lives forever. This is the story of how the founders of McDonald's were written out of their own legacy, and how the company they built became something they never imagined. The McDonald brothers weren't just restaurateurs, they were innovators. In 1948, frustrated by slow service and high overhead, they shut down their successful drive-in and reimagined everything. They stripped the menu to 9 items, focusing on burgers, fries, and shakes. They designed a kitchen assembly line that could produce food in seconds, not minutes. They called it the Speedee Service System, and it revolutionized the industry. Customers got hot food fast and cheap. 15-cent hamburgers. The brothers had created the template for modern fast food. In 1954, a 52-year-old milkshake machine salesman named Ray Kroc visited the McDonald brothers restaurant. He was stunned. The efficiency, the speed, the crowds, he saw potential the brothers didn't. Kroc convinced them to let him franchise their system nationwide. The brothers were cautious. They'd tried franchising before with mixed results. But Kroc was persistent, charismatic, and hungry. In 1955, they signed a deal. Kroc would expand McDonald's, and the brothers would receive 0.5% of gross sales. It seemed like a partnership. It was the beginning of the end. Ray Kroc moved fast. He opened franchises across America, standardizing everything: recipes, procedures, even the buildings. The Golden Arches became iconic. But Kroc clashed with the brothers constantly. They wanted quality control and slow growth. Kroc wanted speed and scale. He borrowed heavily, expanded aggressively, and pushed the brand into new markets. By 1960, there were over 200 McDonald's locations. The brothers watched from California as their creation exploded nationwide. But they saw almost none of the profits. Kroc controlled the real estate through a separate company, siphoning revenue the brothers never touched. By 1961, the relationship had soured. The brothers were exhausted, aging, and wanted out. Kroc saw his chance. He offered to buy them out completely for $2.7 million, $1 million each after taxes. It was a fortune in 1961, but a fraction of what the company would become worth. The brothers agreed. But there was one more thing: a handshake agreement for 1% annual royalty on future sales. Kroc agreed verbally. It was never put in writing. That handshake would have made the brothers millionaires many times over. Kroc never honored it. The final insult came immediately. The buyout didn't include the original San Bernardino restaurant. The brothers still owned it. But Kroc owned the McDonald's name. The brothers were forced to strip their own name from their own building. They renamed it the Big M. Kroc, in a petty act of revenge, opened a McDonald's franchise just 1 block away. The Big M couldn't compete. It eventually closed. The brothers lived modestly for the rest of their lives. Maurice died in 1971. Richard in 1998. Neither lived to see the full scale of what they'd lost. McDonald's exploded. By the 1970s, it was a household name. By the 1990s, a global empire, 30,000 locations in over 100 countries. The Golden Arches became one of the most recognized symbols on earth. Ray Kroc was celebrated as a visionary entrepreneur. The McDonald brothers were footnotes. In corporate lore, Kroc was the founder. The brothers were barely mentioned. The handshake royalty, if honored, would have been worth hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Instead, the brothers' heirs received nothing. The empire they built had erased them. Decades later, McDonald's faced another betrayal, this time from within. Between 1989 and 2001, the company ran its famous Monopoly promotion, giving customers game pieces with every purchase. Millions played. Almost no one won big. That's because the game was rigged. An ex-cop named Jerome Jacobson, head of security at the company that printed the game pieces, had been stealing winning tickets for 12 years. He distributed them to a network of conspirators, friends, family, mobsters who claimed over $24 million in fraudulent prizes. The McMillions scandal shook the company, but by then, McDonald's was too big to fail. Today, McDonald's serves nearly 70 million customers daily. Its annual revenue exceeds $20 billion. Ray Kroc's name is synonymous with the brand. The McDonald brothers are remembered, if at all, as the men who sold too soon. But the truth is more complicated. They didn't sell, they were outmaneuvered. They didn't fail, they were erased. The brothers built the system, the vision, the foundation. Kroc built the empire on top of it. History, as always, belongs to the winner. But the story of McDonald's begins with two brothers in San Bernardino who revolutionized an industry and lost everything in the process.